Welcome to Between Rest and Movement, the podcast of Lindet and Broek, where we explore the balance between action and rest, strength and softness. Here you will discover how slowing down and feeling can go hand in hand with expression and energy. Whether you are walking in nature, doing yin yoga, or just moving with dance and strength training, this podcast offers inspiration to embrace both your yin and yang sides and so much more.
I always believe that people that you connect with in this lifetime, you had a connection in a previous lifetime as well.
Tell me more about that. But first of all, can you introduce yourself to all our listeners because you do so much beautiful work and just to get a glimpse of all the wisdom and gifts you share with the world.
Oh, thank you. I do Akashic Records healing, and I actually teach how to get into your Akashic Records. So I'll explain a little bit more about that later on. I'm also a Rahani celestial practitioner and teacher, and I use a variety of modalities like inner child healing and cord cutting to help people release blocked emotions and to move forward. I use all of those like in a combination, mostly online, and I run workshops as well.
That's quite a lot. Can you give me your why? Why are you doing it, and why is it so? Because people cannot see your face, but you are glowing all over the place. Can you explain what's so bright and shining in your life by doing this, by sharing it? Perhaps it's not doing, perhaps it's sharing or receiving.
Oh, that's such a beautiful thing. It's funny you said I'm shining because my name actually means light. Roshni actually means light. And I've been working for the government for 34 years. And last year, I felt like, okay, I need to leave now. I need to do something different. And I started this work back in 2016, 2017, but like on a part-time basis with my office job. And what I found more and more is by sharing things that I learned through my experiences, I was actually helping people. And this was lighting me up even more. Yeah, so I was feeling like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it in the beginning that, oh, I've done this little bit of healing or conversation or chat or what modality with a person. And then they're coming back to me and saying, oh, this changed and that changed and you've changed my life. And I was like, whoa. So in the beginning, it was a bit disbelief, like, really? Did I do that? But then, it's important for your listeners to know as well that although I might say healing, I'm not anyone's healer. I'm my own healer, and everybody else is their own healer. We can heal ourselves. So I just like to share the tools that is available to everyone and anyone to help them, like facilitate the healing.
That's beautiful that we all have that tools within us, and that you can tap into your own wisdom, tap into your own inner knowing, um, without searching it outside of us. You know, if I can share an example, I was always looking for something outside of me to get healing or to get inspiration. Of course, inspiration you can find outside, but really tapping into myself, then I can um, grow and co create with my inner wisdom. And then something completely different shows up without knowing what that is. And then it can become healing, and then it can become a gift that you really uh, am proud of. Uh, yeah, what's your part in the world? Why you are there? What's your mission? What's your why? So it's really nice that you put it that way, that everybody can do that. But you know, in a world of so many possibilities, where to start?
Very good question. Very good question. And we had that conversation about meditation. Okay. And we had that conversation that, I did start meditating like for a long time, like for 30 minutes, 1 hour back in 2016, 2017, because a stressful job or stressful situations drove me to meditation. And I was so grateful because I started healing lots and lots through connecting to my higher self and inner self and getting all these answers. And then something happened a few years later, and I decided I don't need to meditate for 1 hour. I just need 5, 10 minutes. So I went into that pattern because whatever is divinely right for you at that time, that's what your soul and your body needs. There's no right or wrong. So I'm never going to say to anyone, do a meditation for 1 hour or do 5 minutes. Do what your soul and body requires for that day or for that time. So for a long time, I did 5, 10 minutes and I was happy with it. And then I went to the Joe Dispenza retreat in Basel in March this year. And I was telling you, it just blew me away. It just really blew me away. The things we heard, the things we saw, the things we did, the meditations that we did taught us that just everything is here, everything is inside of us. And just by sitting a few minutes or even an hour or whatever is right for you, you can really connect to that consciousness, to that higher realm, the higher self, source, creator, the angelic realm, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing, right? It's all one, it's consciousness. And you will receive answers, you will see things, you will hear things, you will feel things, and it's really magical. But the most magical part of that retreat, what really was an eye-opener for me and my friends that went, is that, like we always look for outside to heal us. Like we look for, I'm a disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. Yeah, we always look for like a bit of medication or something to take to make us feel better. And there was people on this retreat that had severe illnesses, severe illnesses, and some of them had even been told that chemotherapy isn't going to work, radiotherapy isn't going to work, and some of them have had like 30, 40 tumors. And through meditation, they have literally healed themselves. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a Joe Dispenza meditation. I mean, there's loads of his meditations on YouTube, and you can even purchase some on his website. It can be your own meditation. It could be any meditation. It's the intention that is important. It's where you focus, what energy, wherever you focus on in your life, that's where the energy goes. Okay, so I'm always focusing on about my body and my weight. So obviously that's where all the energy is going. So I need to start focusing on more positive things. Okay, and Joe Dispenza explains it so well, because a lot of people say, but I don't have time to meditate. And I used to say that, and even now, like, I don't work in an office, and I still say I don't have time to meditate. But if you think about it, if you kept a diary of what you did in this last week, I guarantee you will find 5, 10 minutes in there where you will have time or could have time. Or there might even be a 4 hour Netflix where you can reduce to 2 hours. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell anyone what to do, and there's nothing wrong with Netflix or Amazon or Prime or whatever. You need some downtime, okay? But if you look at your diary, I'm sure there is some time there for meditation for you. And if you can connect to this superpower, to this consciousness, to this higher self, why wouldn't you want to do it? It's free, it's all within you. So
isn't that amazing? Yeah. And I recognize what you're saying about focusing on your body, if this is not good or that's too much or too less or whatever. And I keep on having pains in my belly. But I keep on kind of not liking it, sometimes hating it, but that's not the energy I want to give myself, my body. So this weekend I changed it in, I love my body for what it is, completely as it is. And that's new, but by saying that it's new, no, it is now. I love my body. I love my body for completely how it is. And then slowly I can find that the tension becomes lighter, but it's slow. It's not quick movement. And sometimes we and I want to have a quick fix.
I totally understand. I don't know if you remember, but I had a foot condition for 4 years, and it was called bursitis. So I had this like it's almost like a cyst, like a pebble on your toes, and I couldn't put my foot down. Yeah, and I went to we called them the NHS, the the government, sorry, the hospitals in UK, the National Health Service. I went to them. I went to private doctors, private therapists, and they all said you can't do anything about it. You can have an injection, a steroid, and an operation, but it's still going to come back. So I didn't accept that. I was like, there's got to be more to this. So then I went into holistic healing, right, to different facilitators. And I can honestly say, after 4 years, it went. And I'm so glad I didn't have the operation or the injection or the steroid. I mean, sometimes if your soul was meant to have it, it will have it. So I would never say to anyone, don't have it. It's a soul choice. We all have free will. But I know my body was saying, don't do it, do something else. And I did it, and it was amazing. And I'm totally fine. I can do Zumba now, I can do yoga, I can walk barefoot, and I don't need to live in trainers anymore. So the body is a miraculous thing. And I love what you just said about your stomach issue, because all the body ever wants is love and light. But what do we give it? We give it judgment, we give it criticism, we give it hate. And then when we give it that, it's a universal law. What's it going to give you back?
Yeah.
The same,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when you give it love and light and you focus on the good things and are grateful for it, it's going to give you exactly that back. Obviously, we're human. So there are going to be days where, yes, I can give myself love and light and love myself. Self-love is key to everything. But then there are days where, oh God, well, I'm not looking, I don't like the way, my hips are looking today. There are days where we are so judgmental, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. That's human too, huh? Yeah. 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 That's really true. And when you were saying, yeah, where you put your attention to and your energy to, that brings me nearly to tears, because it's so true. And I can feel it so in my body, that's so tense. Um and why not breathing more into my body, give myself the space for where I am, and I really am so interested in all the movement I used to make. And sometimes I do movement from A to B to C, and not daring to stay or to rest or to be where it is, because I'm afraid for nothingness, or afraid of pain, or afraid of I do not know for what. But by keeping on moving, then I do not have to feel. But my body keeps on saying, listen, please listen to me. I'm here. Sounds that familiar for you, for other perhaps people who cross your road into moving away from what's really inside, but they feel?
Yeah, 100%. Because one thing I've learned is when something is going on in my body or in my client's body, it's because the universe or the universe is always doing it for us. It's never against us. So when we feel this pain, when we feel this dis-ease, we're like, oh, I feel like a victim. Why is this happening to me? But then I know, like, for example, I had extreme flu 2, 3 weeks ago, and it was horrible when you get ill and then everything just goes down. You can't do anything. But thank goodness it happened, because I learned from a naturopath that you can take oregano oil, rub it on your feet. You can take echinacea tea, all these natural herbal things that you can do. So I was grateful, like, oh, thank God I had flu, because I've learned these new things and I can share it with other people. And it's the same. I was we had Diwali and we had a busy summer period. So I was a little bit run down as well. So my body just needed the rest. So, like you said, listen to your body. It's telling you, I don't like something, stop. And the other thing is, metaphysics teaches us that most of our ailments and disease does root from emotions. Yes, it shows up in the physical body. Nobody's disputing that, and nobody's lying about their ailments. But a lot of the emotions come up in, a lot of the ailments come up due to blocked emotions, trapped emotions, and but we're not aware of it. We don't realize there's sometimes we haven't forgiven anyone, or sometimes we felt disempowered. Like sometimes the stomach is about the solar plexus, and it's about feeling empowered. And if that chakra is feeling a bit depleted and low, we feel disempowered. And so we might get stomach problems, or we might be holding something inside our stomach. A lot of examples I give my clients is that in Kung Fu fighting and in martial arts, two people fighting always, their position is side by side. It's never face on face. And do you know why? Because the core power is in the stomach. So if one is, their stomach is slightly unfit and a little bit flabby, and the other one has a very, very strong core and a very strong solar plexus, they will win the fight. Yeah, so that's why they never, in martial arts and in Kung Fu, they never are face to face. They're always diagonal. So I always tell my clients, if you're in a meeting with your manager and you're about to have an argument, never be head on straight with them. Kind of sit to the side a bit so that your solar plexuses aren't, aligning to each other. So that's where the power is. All these, with the throat, if you keep getting sore throats, colds, that's your throat chakra. Heart center is usually to do with grief, okay, and not being compassionate as well. And there's, I could go into it. It's so amazing. I'm still learning lots about metaphysics, but I'm hoping to be a full-time metaphysics analysis coach one day. But I'm working on it. So yeah, it's beautiful what the body tells us.
Yeah, that's true. It's really true. And I think you have really a point, feeling empowered from that part of my body. Can I feel my power? Do I dare to share my power, whatever that is? Do I dare to share my wisdom? Well, that's what I'm learning. That's why what I do now via this podcast and via the things I'm sharing with the world. But it can be sometimes like, ooh, but I'm doing it, like that. It's both. But I learned that too. So thanks for sharing this. And there's so much. But is there anything you want to just to get a bit more information about here in our conversation? Because we can talk about so much. But is there anything you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I'll share one of the modalities. So the one that I'm teaching at the moment is the Akashic Records, and I've actually got a group starting tonight.
Ah.
So and the courses are on every month. There's level 1 and level 2, and what the Akashic Records is, the realm. It's like a cosmic library of all the information about our souls. Okay. And if you just imagine how many billions and billions of people have been born and transitioned over and passed over, all that information is held in this really huge cosmic library, and they call it the Akashic Records. It's literally just consciousness. That's all it is, consciousness. And every single thing that you have thought, every single thing that you have said, and every single thing that you have done is recorded in this library. So your past lives and even future, although the future can be changed as well, because that's about free will and choice. So this library, what it does is the Akashic Records, anyone can do it, anyone can tap into it. It's good if you're trained, because then you're working with energy. So it's good to be trained to go into the Akashic Records. But everyone has their own birthright to go into their Akashic Records and read and ask, why is this situation happening to me? Why is it that when I go to work, I always have a fallout with all the managers? Why has that been happening, to me for the last 5 years? You can ask anything you want. And then I work with Archangel Metatron, who's the main keeper of the Akashic Records. And he will look in your books or scroll, or it's different every time you go up there. And he will turn around and say, oh, okay, well, I can see this lifetime where you were in a authority figure and there was a disagreement and you really hurt someone, and that's now playing out in this lifetime. So, and then the healing takes place. You can even heal it and you write a new truth. And it doesn't mean you're deleting any records, because you can't delete the past. We wouldn't want to ever delete the past. But all you're doing is you're writing a new truth, rather than that thought, that belief, that pattern that you had from that lifetime. So that's the power of the Akashic Records. It's very, very powerful.
Wow, that's really, really nice. And how interesting that you're putting it like it's a cosmic library. I am a librarian for children, so I know a lot about finding and searching. I think that's why I'm just love the moving. But now I get all kind of pictures of being a librarian of my own books. That's quite interesting, dear Roshni.
I love that. I love that. And I don't, there's no end to your talent. You're so multi-talented, Linda. I didn't know you were a librarian. That's incredible. That is really incredible. And it's so beautiful, especially for children as well, because children are our future,
Mhm.
right? And whatever we teach them, whatever we share, whatever wisdom we give them, they're going to create our new world, aren't they? And whatever healing you do on yourself, it then goes down to the people around you and your children as well. So even your work colleagues, so it's really, healing is such a powerful thing, the inner work.
It's beautiful. And we all can do it ourselves, huh? If we dare to believe in that. Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely.
Do you have one, perhaps a quote or an inspirator you want to end this conversation with?
Yes, I mean, honestly, the main thing is keep doing the inner work. Yeah, for those of us who are doing the inner work, we are so blessed, because life goes by with so much more ease and grace. And like you mentioned earlier, I'm not going to lie and say, oh, my life is absolutely brilliant. It's all hunky dory. I'm always happy. I'm always abundant. I'm always manifesting. There are days where you will dip, just like any other human, but it makes it so much easier. And we are more living in the fifth dimensional, which is really beautiful, because what's going on there, there might be an argument going on or some sort of unhappiness or something in round the corner. That's not in our reality. It's not in our vibrational frequency, because we choose from free will to be in this beautiful vibrational frequency. And if we do see those things, just know it's always happening for us and not to us.
Yeah, yeah. The world needs a high vibrational energy from all people, eh?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
contagious. It's contagious.
Yeah. Wow. I'm so happy that you shared a bit of your beautiful being, who you are with me and with us. And I'm happy we met each other some years ago. And what you said before, it's not for no reason.
Absolutely. I'm sure we were connected to a past life as well. So I'm absolutely, I feel honored to be on your podcast. So thank you for having me today.
Thank you. You're so more than welcome, dear. Thank you.